What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for jumping in for another episode. Guys, I just wanted to tell you that we are getting ready for Monday morning. We're getting ready to see what the market's going to do. We're getting ready to see if our pump on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with a little bit of a dump during the pump and dump, hold. We've got some really good stocks that are up right now as they ran through the closing post-market. And looking forward to Monday morning seeing what pre-market's going to do. Remember that we have another earnings week, another week filled with companies that have the potential to have some very strong earnings, and some companies that potentially are not really performing very well. And you have to remember that that volatility of earnings does affect the stock market depending on the size of the company, depending on the influence of the company. Last week we had Meta. We had Google, a lot of big stocks that sort of drew the market and caused the market up or down, depending on the earnings results. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a very good week for earnings, and we believe that there's going to be some positivity in the week. I do want to warn everyone, though, and again, please remember this is not financial advice. This is strictly my opinion. But we've been seeing a lot of volatility, obviously, within the first few months of the administration taking change. And that volatility has obviously involved the market fluctuating up and down. I will tell you that all the analysts and all the news articles that I have been researching and reading show that the market is continuing on a strong uptrend. Now, that doesn't mean this week that come Monday morning after the stock market opens that the market drops back down. We believe that until we get past the tariff talk and the fear of the tariffs and everything that's going on with it, that the market will continue to do this, quote unquote, what some other YouTubers call pump and dump. When I hear pump and dump, I always think of meme coins. I always think of those meme stocks that people get in them, pump them all the way up, you buy in, and if you don't sell and get out, you're rug pulled and you're done. Well, the stock market's not a pump and dump, guys, okay? The stock market is running based on news, based on social media, based on rumors, based on, all these things that cause it to go up, and then it turns around and goes back down. So I don't like to use pump and dump. I think it's kind of silly to call it a pump and dump. But some YouTubers do like to say it's a pump and dump type of a market. But what I will tell you is that you have to be careful, you have to be cautious, you have to understand what's going on with your trades and the stocks you are in. Long-term portfolio, long-term hold, guys, leave it there. Unless you have information about a company that's going to go down, that you're going to lose money because the company is going out, then yeah, you have to make some financial decisions for yourself based on those companies. But if you're in companies like I am for longer term hold, Palantir, NVIDIA, Google, Apple, those are companies that they're not going anywhere. Now, will they go down? Yes, they'll go down. But remember, we've seen historically with every retest or every correction of a market, the market tends to come back stronger. And I wanted to read to you guys some of the news that's out this week, just to share a little bit about what I've been seeing and all the research I've been doing. So let me read some of these headlines. I'm going to put them up here on the screen for you as we go through them. But these are all different news sources, not one specific news source, not a politically affiliated or attributed news source. But CNN reported that the S&P 500 posts the longest winning streak in 20 years as Trump and China show some willingness to bend on trade. Really? So after all this talk on CNN about how horrible this is and how terrible this is and what a huge mistake Trump's making by putting the tariffs out, by trying to force other countries that we pay taxes to bring products into their country, by forcing them to also have to pay taxes to bring their product into our country. And it was such a bad thing. Now CNN saying, wow, longest winning streak in 20 years as Trump and China show some willingness to bend on trade. Okay, CNN, thank you very much. Investors.com says the stock market rally powered higher last week with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ composite moving above their 50-day moving averages, buoyed by Microsoft, MSFT, and Meta Platforms, META, the two big catalysts driving the market sell-off. AI hardware fears and Trump tariffs are turning into positives for now. Well, thank you, investors.com. Stock market today says the Dow Jones futures, Warren Buffett to step down as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. Guys, that is huge news. Now, is that going to affect Berkshire Hathaway? It might, but we'll see what happens. And the article also says about Palantir on tap. The Dow Jones futures will open Sunday evening along with S&P 500 futures and NASDAQ futures. Warren Buffett said Saturday that he will step down as Berkshire Hathaway, BRKB, in case you want to look and see what their stock is doing, CEO at the year end. He also said trade shouldn't be a weapon. And then Palantir Technologies, PLTR, I'm in as a long-term hold for my retirement, reports Monday in another busy week for earnings. The Federal Reserve meets Tuesday, Wednesday with investors looking insight into possible summer rate cuts. Thank you. Awesome. That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping the Fed cuts some rates. Let's make it more affordable for us Americans to buy homes, to buy real estate, to live, within the economy. NBC News says, based on the Trump tariffs, stocks unleash remarkable comeback after a historic dive from Trump's tariffs announcements. The S&P 500 has notched its longest winning streak in 20 years after suffering some of its worst ever drawdowns. And then the AP Business News, talking about the tariffs, also says how the stock market made back all its losses after Trump escalated the trade war. And then let's see, the Wall Street Journal, my favorite news outlet, not really, Wall Street Journal. It's the seasonal time that investors love to debate, sell in May, go away. But in a market currently driven by policy headlines, many strategists say that this year's climate doesn't fit the usual patterns. With lingering economic uncertainty, fragile technicals, and geopolitical catalysts like U.S.-China trade talks in play, few see a clear case for stepping to the sidelines, at least not just because the calendar says so. Okay, well, you guys can take that as positive news or take that as negative news. I don't really know how to take that one, but I'll tell you, I know what I'm doing, guys. I've got cash out from making money on some of my trades from last week, back to powder. Powder sitting on the sidelines, ready for a bit of a dump or a retest, okay? A little bit of a correction, and when it hits the dip, I'm buying back in. NVIDIA, this week, I'm taking a look to see what's going to happen Monday. I'm in some pretty good profit right now. It is a longer-term hold one for me, but I always end up doing this, guys. My longer-term holds, they get to new highs, and I'm like, what do I do with it now, right? I can't see it 5, 10, 15 years from now. But I can make that money now and reinvest that money so I sell out of those stocks and buy in at a lower price and let it ride back up. Again, guys, nothing I'm telling you is advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm buying the dips. What I'm doing is I'm buying the bottom. And I'm getting to safer, more secure stocks like blue chip stocks, the Magnificent Seven, the S&P 500 stocks. Guys, I've never talked about them on videos. I'm in an entire retail market trade, where I've got stocks like ELF and, some of the beauty cosmetics companies, some of the more prevalent type of, retailers like Costco, Walmart, okay? Those are the stocks that are going to continue to make us money longer term. Netflix, which I will give credit, Chris Sane, who has his own YouTube video. I really like watching his channel and seeing what he does. He does a lot of options trades. He trains people how to buy, how to do calls and puts on options. I don't do options, guys, because there's a lot of risk in options. But I can tell you that people make a lot of money in options trading, guys, for sure. And he's one guy that has a pretty strong foundation. I like what he stands for. I like his videos. And he'll tell you flat out, the only way to learn how to do options trading is that you basically buy at support and sell at resistance. And I like to buy and sell shares, trading shares. It's a little bit safer. But there's nothing wrong with options, guys. I'm going to tell you. I do options periodically. I used to buy everyday options on APLD, Applied Digital, because I knew the trend and I knew every day what was going to go up the next day or whether it was going to go down the next day. But anyway, guys, let's jump into some of the stocks I've been looking at. First of all, those earning stocks, I've been doing some charting. You probably won't see charting on all of my earnings. I'm not done because it's only Sunday afternoon. I still have a lot of time left. But let's start with some of the ones that I do recommend, and I will be in on Monday for day trading. First and foremost, SoFi. Guys, SoFi's running right now at $12 and let's see, $12.69. Okay, the market closed on Friday at 4 p.m. at $12.70. It's been pretty much horizontal most of the day, but guys, it hit $12.93 in the day, and it's just had some really nice run, okay, that you could day trade very well. I like SoFi more as a longer term hold. I still believe it's got the potential to get to over $19 per share, but that's something that you buy it, get in it, and get out. Also, APLD. You may hear my dogs barking in the background. APLD, guys, again, record new highs for where we're at right now. Hit $5.39. Sitting right now at $5.28. It's held pretty well through the closing, post-market. I'm excited to see what pre-market's going to do, but I wouldn't be surprised if APLD came back down a little bit and then turn around and go back up. Again, on my E-Trade and my Robinhood accounts, I day trade this every day. On this account, my Webull account, I am bag holding it at $5. I don't know, it's $5.83, somewhere around there. But I'm excited for this stock to continue to grow, and I know that eventually it's going to surpass my current cost per share, and it's going to give me profit, and then I'm going to pull that money out, put it back in powder, and I'm going to use it on the sidelines until something else, another opportunity comes up, or APLD drops back lower and I get back in it and let it ride back up, just like it does pretty much every single day. And you can see this every single day. I mean, look at this day it had on Thursday, and then Friday it continued. It had the market open and some news, and it continued back up. Guys, Wolf, WULF, is another one that I love to be in and day trade. So I'm going to share that one with you. It had had some good upticks on Friday. It closed market day. It closed at about $3.21. It's sitting at $3.19. So again, some good movement, good opportunity for a good day trade stock. Now, let's talk for a minute, guys, about earnings. You can see on here, left side, we've got 89 companies that are recommended to watch and review for earnings. I potentially am going to be looking at 18 of them because there are 18 specific stocks that I would trade as part of my day trade strategy. And if you want to learn more about my strategy and how I select my stocks, how I look at those stocks, what I do in those stocks to know if I'm going to be using them as a day trade stock, then please go and look at my very first video. I'm going to pop up here what that thumbnail looks like for that video, but it's the intro video, and it tells you all about how I trade, how I day trade, and what my strategy is. But generally, my stocks that I day trade run between $5 and $10 per share. I do look at ones between $1 and $5. I don't love the volatility in lower dollar stocks. Once it hits a $5 mark, there's a little bit more strength in those stocks, so I run generally between 5 and 10. But these are stocks that go between, in essence, $1 all the way to $10. Okay, so let me actually go to my regular stock chart, and let me go here to my earnings chart, and let's see here. Okay, so I don't think I've charted GoGo yet, but GoGo is one of those stocks that's had some pretty good uptrend for the last many days and does follow the S&P 500. So that's one I'm going to be looking at. AQN is another one I'm going to be looking at as far as day trading it. TLS is another one. This is $2.76. Probably not one I'll be spending a lot of time in tomorrow. But let's see here. I'm going to find the ones that are over 5. Look, Wolf, WULF, is a stock that does have earnings this week, so pay attention to that one. Let's see. QBTS is another one that's got some pretty positive growth. It is a quantum stock, so it's following S&P. It's following all the AI technology sector, which I love. So we're going to be taking a look at that one. We're also going to be taking a look at, let's see where we're at. Ford. Ford has earnings this week. And you guys know I love Ford. I'm curious what's going to happen with Ford because, guys, I've told you this is a $6 to $12 stock. It's always been. But right now it's at $10.27 in the aftermarket. So pre-market, I'm curious to see what it does. And I'm most likely going to purchase some Ford stock. What I will do, I'm going to purchase Ford stock. Maybe I'll jump in there with 100 shares and see what happens in earnings. They've had a lot of positivity based on employee pricing and, just some really good stuff that's going on. So take a look at Ford with me as well. RX is another one I'm going to be taking a look at. You can see I charted that one out this week. So there's a lot of good stocks, and there's a lot of higher value stocks that I think are good if you want to take a look at them, but not ones that I would trade. So anyway, guys, that's what I'm going to be doing this week. Remember, Monday morning, look at the market to see what it's doing pre-market. Let the market open, let the bell ring at 9:30, and then give it 30 minutes or so, hit 10 o'clock and see how the market is responding and reacting. Has there been any news that's come out early in the morning that potentially causes the market to drop down? What is the S&P 500 doing? Let's take a look at that right now. So just so you guys know what the S&P 500 finished out, had several days of uptrend. I think it's 7 or 8 days of consistent uptrend. It closed at $566.76. Guys, we told you 545 to 555 was the support and resistance for it most of the week last week, and then it finally broke through that 555 mark and it kept going. What will it do Monday? We will wait and see, guys. But a lot of news, a lot of things going on. And that's it. That's really where I'm going to be looking. Are there other stocks that you can take a look at if you want to be a little bit more comfortable? Again, SoundHound is one that I always recommend. APLD, obviously, which I mentioned. Serve Robotics is another one that I recommend you take a look at. It's actually doing very well right now. It's over $7. It's actually $7.10 per share after post-market where it was $7.05. But anyway, guys, a lot to look at, a lot to make money. Let's get in and get rich together, guys. Set that future for yourselves. Build that retirement for yourself. Don't trade your rent or mortgage payment. Don't trade your car payment or money you need to buy food. Be smart, guys. Use money that you put aside specifically for trading, and know your risk and understand where your risks are. How much are you ready to lose, guys? For newer traders, I always recommend use a stop loss. I generally do about 5 to 7%. But if they're volatile and they're running high and down, low, up and down pretty quick, you could hit that stop loss immediately. So just make good decisions, guys. I want you to be safe in the market. I want you to make money. And drop me some comments, guys. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you're making money. Let me know what you're seeing. Let me know what else I should be looking at so we can continue to build this community together. Guys, hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't yet. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I drop a new video. And smash that like button for me, guys. And lastly, if you haven't opened a Webull trading account, then go down below in my description. You're going to see a link to open a Webull account, and you'll get up to 20 fractional shares for free just for joining the account based on how much money you get in. And guys, it's free money. Go get that money. Guys, awesome. Can't wait to see and hear what you guys got going on. And I'll be posting a new video every day as I do, and hope to catch you up on what's happening in the market and us making money together. Josh out. Peace.